Good evening and welcome on behalf of Unity. My name is Greg Mendoza and I serve as Unity's Youth Programs Director. So tonight, the Executive Committee is hosting the Midwest Regional Native Youth Meetup for the purpose of meeting youth advisors, youth councils from the Midwest region. So with that, I'm going to introduce your Midwest Unity Regional Representative. Her name is Angelina Serna, and she will introduce herself. Welcome on behalf of Unity. Angelina?
Hi, everyone. I think everyone knows me, but my name is Angelina Serna. I'm from the United Nations in Fremont, Chippewa. I'm the current Midwest representative, and I'll be attending now in the fall. Um, that's a little about me. Um, I want to go to the next thing on the agenda. Opening prayer. Okay. Would anybody like to volunteer to do the opening prayer? Jonathan, would you mind, or would you like to do the opening prayer for us?
Sure. Nase Tuoksnan man say tanan say to Santa Spray Omesista. Blessed, thank you, Lord, for today that we come before you at this time. Thanking you for this day that we could host this Midwest Region Native Youth Regional Meetup. Ask that you bless our time together, and as we move forward with this meetup, that you'll that there will be fruitful discussions, and whatever issues come our way, that we'll be able to address them in a positive way and in a healthy way. As I ask that you bless all the Native youth in the Midwest region and throughout Indian country, our executive committee, our council of trustees, our staff, and all of Native youth throughout Indian country. Just thanking you once more that we could convene for this meetup, and that you'll be the one to lead the way during this meetup and in the days to come. I'll say, folks, and say tanan, say to slant to spray, oh, messy stuff.
Amen.
Thank you, Jonathan. Next on the agenda is check-ins. So we're gonna do introductions. You guys can introduce your name. Does anybody want to volunteer to go first?
I can go first. Hayat esh kedosh dene esh e ashihinishle nafla nabashishri vati dashache paranasana dashanale Audrey Mitchell Yanisha. Hello everybody, my name is Audrey Mitchell. I am Navajo and Southern Cheyenne. And I'm an enrolled member of the Colorado River Indian Tribes of Arizona, and I currently reside in Mesa, Arizona. And I'm also serving on the executive committee as the female co-president, along with Angelina and Jonathan. So I'm very happy to be on the call and can't wait to see what kind of discussions are being brought up during this meeting. Thank you.
Alaikum Sinsna, it's I am Good evening, Midwest region. My name is Jonathan Arakawa. I'm an enrolled member of the Lower Elwha Clallam tribe, located in the state of Washington. I'm proud to serve at Unity as its secretary and Northwest regional representative to the National Unity Council Executive Committee. I'm proud to serve alongside Madam President Mitchell and Representative Serna. So it's good to be present here today and to provide support to Representative Serna Hodgson. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Sean. I am the Vice President of the City Indigenous Tribal Youth Council. I'm Sistan Wapton from South Dakota. Just glad to be here today. Thank you.
I see a David Morales on the call.
Yeah, can you guys see me or hear me?
Yes.
My name is David Morales from Fort McDowell, Yavapai Nation, but I currently reside in Chicago, Illinois, and I'm a youth advisor with the City Kids, Chicago Indigenous Tribal Youth, and I work with Angelina Serna and Sean Canning. Thank you.
Welcome. Will.
Will Mosley. Greetings, everyone. My name is Will Mosley. I'm a Unity production staff. Also, your former Northeast representative and former Vice President of the EC from 2018 to 2021. I'm coming from the Nunavut and Lenni Lenape nations.
I'll go last, I believe. Skukdash, good day. My name is Greg Mendoza. I'm of the three tribes, Akamet Otham, Thon Otham, and Pasco Yaqui. I'm enrolled with the Gila River Indian community in Arizona, and want to welcome all of you again on behalf of Unity. Thank you.
Thank you guys for all being here today. Next, we have an icebreaker. And one question, or one icebreaker that I have for you guys is, what is your favorite moment from this year so far? Or is there anything you're looking forward to? So would anybody like to go first?
I can go first. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay. My favorite moment from this year is I'm one of the singers on a youth drum here in Chicago, and we were at a powwow not too long ago, and we sang a song. And after that song, I had a member of another drum come up to me, and he thanked me for singing that song because his sister-in-law, who was in mourning over a loved one that had passed, she said, as he said, that when you're in mourning, you're not supposed to go into the circle, you're not supposed to dance because you're mourning for your loved one. And he came up to me and he told me that during that song, he saw his sister-in-law go into the circle and start dancing during that song. And so he just thanked me for that song and thanked me for that wonderful singing that the youth drum did. And so that's one of my favorite moments so far this year. Thank you.
Would anybody like to go next?
I can go next. I would have to say my favorite moment from this year so far. It would probably be when one of my best friends came to visit for the weekend. We met when we first went to Mesa Community College together, and she lives down kind of near Tucson. And ever since the pandemic hit, she moved back down there. And so we never really get to see each other often, but she did come up for one weekend, and that was pretty fun. It's always nice to see her, but yeah, that was one of my favorite moments.
Anybody else want to volunteer to go next?
I'll go next. One of my favorite moments of this year was being able to sing for our community. Since COVID hasn't really allowed us to have any gatherings over the last 2 years, it was real nice to see a lot of familiar faces and see the Chicago community come together and, for some songs and dancing and hearing great laughs, and then hearing the youth tell their story of what they've been up to this year and all their accomplishments, especially the city tribal council.
Anybody else want to go next? I'll go then. So my favorite moment from this year was getting all my college decision letters back. I had a lot of choices, but I finally got to pick one. It was something that was really stressing me out, but it was something that I was proud of to accomplish, getting into many universities. And yeah, anybody else want to go?
I'll go. I would say favorite thing this year so far would have to be going to Gathering of Nations, seeing my one of my closest friends run for Miss Indian World. It's also my first time at Gathering of Nations, and just hanging out with my favorite people.
Mines would be, and you can probably laugh when you hear this, going back to work. I've been working from home virtually for almost, 2 years? So it feels good to be back. And Will could tell you that, to see everyone at the office. So, yeah, this pandemic is really taking a toll on a lot of us, even those that are in high school and college, and those that work in the workforce as well. Some of us, yeah, it was good. It's been good to go back to work and to dress up. We didn't really have to dress up when you're home working virtually, but yes. Thank you.
Would you like to go, Jonathan or Isaiah, who just joined us?
I'm sorry. Where are we at exactly?
The icebreaker question is, what is your favorite moment from this year, or what are you looking forward to?
I'm really looking forward to our conference this year. I know it's gonna be nice. I know a lot of us haven't really had an opportunity to have a lot of face-to-face with people. I know that's something I'm really big and passionate about, is being able to connect with the youth in person and not over the phone. It's tend to be harder to connect over the phone than it is in person. So that's one of the biggest things that I'm looking forward to.
We have our executive director on the call as well.
Henry Kim.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
I'm good. So Are we, have we started the meeting?
Yes.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. I'm interrupting.
Angelina, go ahead and explain our activity.
So we're doing an icebreaker right now, and the questions are, what is your favorite moment from this year, or what are you looking forward to?
Well, we lost Mary Kim. Oh, there she is.
I am so sorry. Was that posed to me? I thought that you're doing like a tagging or something. Okay, repeat that one more time. I'm so sorry.
The questions are, what is your favorite moment from this year, or what are you looking forward to?
Favorite moment, like from this past year or in 2022?
In 2022.
Favorite moment. Or what am I looking forward to? Okay. That's a hard one. I'm looking forward to a lot of things that of course, the national conference. I always look forward to that. But before that, my niece is going through a coming of age ceremony, and it's the first weekend in June on our reservation. It's going to be pretty hot, but she's going to go through a 4-day ritual. And she's my brother's daughter. So it's an Apache coming of age ceremony, and it's very spiritual, and it also is kind of grueling. So it'll build her stamina, and it will help prepare her for womanhood. So thank you.
Thank you. I think everyone went, unless I missed someone. So we can move on to item E, youth regional update, open discussion. So either Sean or David can talk about youth council involvement, any issues in the community or with the youth council. And are there any challenges, and if so, are there any solutions to those challenges?
For those on the call, the staff has recognized the need to communicate with the regions, and so this is where the Native Youth Meetups concept came about through our executive committee as a way to reach the 10 different regions of the Unity Network. This is an opportunity for you just to share. This is an open space for all of you just to share your youth council involvement, the issues, the challenges, and if there's any solutions that you have that we could help in your efforts. We noted that during the pandemic, a lot of our youth councils became very inactive. And this is just one of our ways of reactivating our youth and to get them excited for not only the National Unity Conference, but for other opportunities that Unity will have available. So we understand that this has been a really difficult time for a lot of our Native youth and youth councils. Tribes are finally loosening up on their restrictions for youth to participate in youth council activities locally, and some are beginning to travel as well. So again, for those on the call, this is your opportunity just to share your thoughts that will help Angelina in her role as the Midwest representative. Thank you. We could also have our executive committee members on the call to share their thoughts as well. Angelina, there was a question posed in the chat. Maybe you could read that question.
So the question was, is COVID-19 still a concern in your community?
And Angelina, let's go to each person on the call. Let's hear their thoughts.
I'll start. I can start. COVID, for a while, it was really big in my community. It tended to slow up as more people were getting vaccinated in my community. It's still a concern for our elders within our elders. It's really big with them still. I know we just had another outbreak in Lincoln City right here on the coast where I work. So I'm really tending to stay away from everyone over there for a little bit until things start calming back down. But overall, I wouldn't really say that COVID's a huge concern here anymore, but it's still in the back of everyone's minds.
Oh, sure. I think COVID will continue to be a concern moving forward. COVID isn't going to go anywhere. And as President Fisher outlined, it's a concern for our elders, not only for our elders, but those that are immunocompromised, and as well as for our youth. We have some areas in the Northwest where there's been outbreaks amongst students. And so that's a concern for our leadership and for our community. So I think COVID will continue to be a concern, and we'll need to continue to address that, especially when we get in big settings, because that's where it spreads. And so that's, pardon the sneeze over there, but it's very much a concern, especially for our community, because we always want to safeguard our community, and the safety of our people is always at the forefront for us.
Does anybody else want to go or share?
I'll go next. In Chicago, I know COVID is really still a big thing. Being in a bigger city, though, we have a lot of different reactions towards COVID and how people think differently about it. But as Native community, we all come together and take it very seriously. For the most part, everyone who hangs out or who comes to our Indian Center is vaccinated. and with the respective, if you're not vaccinated, to be, tested regularly. Recently, at one of our drum practices, one of our members who came from Los Angeles unknowingly spread COVID to about like 6 of our singers, and it was a big thing because we have really like 2 big drums in Chicago. One's Redline and one's the youth drum, Windy City. And when one drum isn't practicing, the other one is. And so a lot of the youth are going to these different circles without knowing. And so it was a really big scare, especially when the youth drum was invited to Opawa up in Wisconsin. At the time, we didn't know we were exposed to it, so we potentially exposed everyone else at the powwow. But luckily, only one of the youth came down with COVID, and he's our youngest singer. He's 6 years old, and so it was real terrible for him at the time. He was real sad, and it was around the time of our spring break program that we do. So he was real upset that he wasn't able to be around other youth. And like I said earlier, a lot of us are getting back together and gathering. Like a lot of us are gathering. So for him to not be able to see his friend hurt him, which in turn hurt everyone else on the drum, because we really felt for him. And especially like these kids have missed out on a good 2 years of their lives. And like Mr. Mendoza said earlier, he's just getting back to work. And so like myself, I'm getting back to work, and a lot of our students are getting back to school. So to be taken out, it's real heartbreaking for them. But we are going on the uphill, kind of, if that makes sense. And for the most part, everyone's staying healthy and staying in good spirits. But it's still really affecting Chicago community as well. Another student that I work with, when COVID first started, his grandparents moved in with him, and they're older. They're from New Mexico, and they came to Chicago, and when one person gets sick, usually the whole household gets sick. So taking care of our elders is especially hard for us. And then we need to be around each other and help each other out. But yeah, that's what I have to say for that right now. Thank you.
Thank you. Does anybody else want to share? If not, we can go to the next question. I guess we can go to the next question. And the next question is, what COVID-19 precautions should Unity put in place at the national conference, if any? I can talk a little bit about it. So at our annual powwow that we had gallons of hand sanitizer everywhere, and masks provided. And I think that's just a safety precaution that we should have in case youth do want to wear a mask, or they do need hand sanitizer. I think that should be something, if possible.
Hey, Isaiah. Again, sorry that my camera's on. My service isn't great right here. In my opinion, I feel like we should stick with what we did at our mid-year conference. We had a lot of things going on to help with. Hey, you want to chime in on like the precautions that we had mid-year? Because I think those were good ideas.
Thank you for your input, everyone. I am curious if any tribal communities are still on travel restrictions. I think for the most part, those have been lifted, but I may not be aware of any at this point. So does anyone know of any tribal communities that are still limiting travel, like outside of, like out of state?
I recently got a letter talking about that from my tribe, and I'm from Arizona, but I live in Chicago. And for the longest, like I remember when the pandemic first started, we couldn't be seen hanging out outside. I'd be at my cousin's house, but there'd be like 10 of us outside. We all live in the same house. So I remember the tribal cops would come around flashing the lights. But in Fort McDowell, as of May 3rd, there is no longer a prohibition or limitation on in-person gathering. That's effective immediately. And even though like we're so far away, that's a big thing because a lot of ceremonies are coming up. Like you said, there was a big restriction on was the sunrise ceremonies, and when young ladies are going through this, you want your whole family there, and for the last 2 years, like it was really selective. So now even seeing this, like I'm excited to go back and really be able to really hang out with my family as a whole. Like I live on we live on it's the street called Hillside Road, and a lot of my family just lives on that one street, and so it's to be able to gather with them and go from house to house and hang out and grab some food. It's a real cool thing. But yeah, there's still big safety precautions out in Fort McDowell. But yeah, I just thought I'd share that because I was just looking at this today actually. But yeah, thank you.
Would anybody else like to share any precautions or safeties Unity should put at the nationals, if any?
I think it was useful and helpful when we were masked to bring that layer of protection, and even hand sanitizers, like the past national conference where hand sanitizers were handed out. Just that one layer of protection, which I haven't heard that there's been any COVID positives at our conference. So I think our mechanisms and our ways of doing things are very effective.
Yeah, I agree with all the ideas shared. So I guess, is there anything else anybody wants to talk about, whether youth involvement or any challenges in the community? And if so, are there any solutions to these challenges that you can think of? If not, we can move on to the next item, which is restoring the spirit of Native youth resolution.
Representative Cerna, maybe you could have our resolutions chair, our secretary Arkawa, explain briefly on the resolution, and then we have Madam President on the call as well.
Jonathan, would you like to briefly explain the resolution to our guests here today? And Audrey, you're welcome to share as well.
Sure. I'm going to grab our description here. So here's an overview of the Restoring the Spirit of Native Youth Resolution. The Restoring the Spirit of Native Youth Resolution is an initiative for all Native youth developed under the leadership and vision of the National Unity Council Executive Committee. The resolution was passed by the National Unity Council during the 2022 Unity Mid-Year Conference in Phoenix, Arizona. The resolution addresses the impacts associated with the COVID-19 pandemic. The Executive Committee is committed to addressing these impacts through talking circles and community asset mapping. And not only through that, but rolling out this initiative through what you'll soon hear announced are Restoring the Spirit of Native Youth town halls. But I'd now like to afford time to our female co-president, Audrey Mitchell. Thank you.
Thank you, Jonathan. So like you said, this resolution was something that our executive committee really wanted to tackle this year because we did see kind of that, I guess, lack of community outreach and lack of youth councils, since the pandemic. So to kind of regather everyone's focus and wanting to help, I guess, motivate the youth, we came up with this resolution, and we have been talking about this since last July, since we got elected into the executive committee, and it was passed at mid-year this past February. And so now we're working on the rollout, which Jonathan said is our town hall meetings. That's going to be, we're going to talk about more in depth next. But all of this is leading up to our national conference in July in Minneapolis, where we really get to, showcase what this resolution means to us and what we wanted to do for our year on the executive committee. But yeah, I'll hand it back to Angelina. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. So with that being next, the list is restoring, it would be the town hall meetings.
Representative Serna, maybe you could have the officers explain in a nutshell what the town hall meetings are.
If you, Jonathan and Audrey, would like to explain, briefly what the town hall meetings are for and why we're having them.
Sure. So the town hall meetings is part of our rollout of our resolution, the initiative, and this is to help explain this initiative to the greater Unity Network, the Native Youth, the Youth Council, and their advisors. So this is intended for all of you Native youth and advisors that have joined us today to get a better understanding of the resolution, because we're just given a brief overview, whereas the town hall, you can ask questions, which this Wednesday, four of our executive committee members will be hosting this. And then next month, your representative Serna will be one of the ones to host the town hall in June. So it's encouraged that y'all attend and help better understand this resolution, because this is something that's going to be beneficial to all Native youth and youth councils coming out of COVID in the years to come. Thank you.
So we would encourage the City Youth Council to participate in this upcoming town hall meeting this Wednesday. Please let your youth council members know to get a better understanding of the actual initiative as mentioned and how they could be a part of that. And it's about finding the strengths within a tribe or within a community. There's a lot of strengths out there. It's just a matter of identifying those strengths. But also along with that, we need to find ways of healing. And so we're going to be introducing the healing circles or talking circles concept as well as a way of healing and restoring our spirits. So that is going to be on Wednesday. So please, if you can, please attend. Thank you. Okay.
So next on the agenda is the closing. I would like to thank everyone for coming, and sharing their input. The representative, see what I can do better. A lot of people showing, but this is that I will do more outreach, and bring more youth. Hopefully to town hall on Wednesday and also town hall next month. Thank you guys for coming.
And for those on the call, on behalf of Unity, we want to say thank you for joining us. Thank you for providing the input. Again, as staff, we are always looking for input from young people regarding some of the most current issues affecting your youth councils, your tribes, etc. So thank you. We look forward to seeing you all at the National Unity Conference in Minneapolis. There's going to be so much opportunity for you there, but also continue to view our page on our website. We've created the Midwest profile on the website now, so you could probably get some of the latest information about upcoming events. So please continue to go to our website. And I would recommend that if you haven't registered for the National Unity Conference, please do so. We're really excited about this bringing our young people again together. And so that's it. Thank you.
Thank you guys. Then announcements for the next town hall is May 18th at 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. So on Wednesday, and Jonathan has put the link to register in advance. Thank you. And the other town hall meeting is June 15th at 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. there for that. So if any of you guys need it, I can do that. And the National Unity Conference is July 7th to the 12th in Minneapolis. So like Greg said, register if you haven't. I can't wait to see you guys there. Yeah.
Thank you, everyone.
Wait, hold on.
Go ahead, Mary Kim.
Something very important is happening Thursday, Greg. You forgot to put it on the list. Something that I'm hosting.
Oh, I forgot. Go ahead, Mary Kim. I'm sorry.
Well, I personally want to invite everyone to my webinar on Thursday. It's a fundraising webinar, and you haven't seen it advertised, but that's my fault. So it's going to be widely promoted tomorrow. So be looking for something in your email, on social media. We'll probably send out a text blast and maybe something, some other communication. But anyway, it's Thursday, and it'll be in the afternoon. For those that don't catch it live, you can catch it as a recording. So I want to say it's 2:30 in the afternoon on Thursday, which is Pacific time. So what is that? Your time. I think you guys are 2 hours ahead, right?
It would be 4:30.
That would be 30 p.m. So help spread the word and look for the announcement. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good job, Angelina.
Thank you. Have a good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.